Here I stand. The Starfall sword in my grip. A gift given in times of peace. Peace, the great lie.
What is up, For Honor family? Year 8 Season 4 Title Update 1 Warrior's Den has concluded, and here's a quick recap for you if you didn't have time to view it, or you just wanted a condensed version of what was covered. If you're interested in the weapons or armor variations only, you can find the Battle Pass, Legacy Pass, and armor variations at the end of the video. We have testing grounds, patch notes, use the timestamps to navigate as you please, but I hope you listen to it all. There's a lot of good stuff that we're going to talk about, and we're going to start with the new hero skin. We knew we were getting a Wulin hero skin, and Zhanhu is that hero that is getting it. General Z is his name. People in the community have already started calling him the sneaky snake. Choose to go with that if you choose, and that's based on how they described him, and you can see the shifty snake eyes on the back of his belt. The short story will be available on the For Honor website on season release if you're interested in reading it, but in summary, previously the Whitebone Spirit attacked and took out the Wulin elite. Many will remember the Whitebone Spirit during the Theater of Bones event, and now General Z wants to put the Wulin on the map in a big way by aligning with the Horkos in Astria, aka Warmonger. Astria is close to fully dominating Heathmoor, as you probably know, so she agrees, but knows he's kinda shifty. You know, not to be trusted, not fully trustworthy. So you'll get a good understanding of this if you listen to the trailer. One thing I thought was interesting was the fact that they stated how this season will differ from the other seasons in Year 8. The prior seasons of Year 8 took place in a non-defined time of Heathmoor in the past with the Unsung Knight, Katashi, Gudmundr, which were represented previously, and this season is going back to the main timeline that they left off with Katla, who is the Varangian Guard. This does make sense as we roll into the new Outlander hero that supposedly will shake things up in Heathmoor, and General Z's sneaky ways will probably be connected to the new hero in some way. Now, getting into the meat of this, you'll get a brief look at some of the things that we have coming in the Battle Pass right here, a couple of different battle outfits, double-edged GIF executions, which kind of fits the vibe of the Sneaky Snake season. And you know For Honor loves doing these mask effects, so we got to get a couple of them also. I personally cannot stand those dang things, but y'all have fun with it. There's an artful ornament that Nuxia shows off, but the signature is actually pretty funny. It's actually pretty funny. It's called Frostwind Present, and obviously there's a body in that bag that's still alive and kicking. I love how the team keeps coming up with things like this. They're both silly and solid. You gotta have both. Year 8 Season 4 Battle Pass infuses a purple and silver look. The weapons begin with the artful name, and as usual with these videos, I'll show the Year 8 Season 4 Battle Pass weapons and the available Year 4 Season 4 Legacy Pass weapons at the end of the video. The Year 4 Season 4 Legacy Pass weapons are Renaissance weapons, but they emphasize that they were steampunk in the den. Part of the story for those weapons were the weapons they had were not enough, so they had to evolve. And when I say that, I'm talking about the Chimera Alliance. This is the result of that evolution, and you can see some of the distinct machinations within the weapons, the gears. The weapons have no added benefit, but they wanted to show that something new had arrived and was purposeful, and this was their way as part of that continuation of that Horkos versus Chimera storyline. They did a General Z deep dive explaining how you won't see damage on the armor as much, and you gotta understand because he's a general. He's a general. He's not gonna be running into the fight like that. It still looks worn but not as damaged. They showed you some of the concept art behind the hero as well. They talked about the eyes on his belt, the floating shawl the general had going on, and plenty more. If you're interested in the lore, you can go and check it out. I put a link to the den in the description. Ice Brawlers is coming back on December 19th to January 9th. If you're interested in this game mode and what is usually made available during it, check out the video I did on this previously. It shows you that game mode. They didn't say that the color patterns, including the all white color pattern, would be available, but it's worth checking out to see if they will be. The link is above right now, and I'll also include it in the description. Also, check out how the minions are going to be looking during the seasonal event. You gotta appreciate the effort that the devs put into even this easily dispatched warriors and what they provide to us as, I guess you would say, humor. They provide us a bit of humor on the battlefield as well. You'll have an opportunity to get the Prowling Reality battle outfit, Wulin Alliance ornament, and a Wulin effect. There is a limited time mythic outfit that will be available from December 5th to December 25th. It's called Serpent Snare, and you can see that here. There's a limited time execution named Killing Them Frostly, available for the same time frame. I'll just say December 5th to December 25th, just in case you're just listening and you're not looking at the video. Hope you have some still saved up for this event, y'all, because there's a lot of things that you have to put your money into if you're gonna get them. Time is not going to be enough. You're not going to be able to earn enough steel to get all this stuff. Some of the bigger things that they revealed was testing grounds. Now, usually testing grounds is a week after the season starts. It's starting December 5th. So it's starting immediately once the season starts. And this testing grounds, just like the last one was Warden Feats, This one is Peacekeeper Feats. So it's Peacekeeper Feats only. It's focused on bleed synergy and improve her group fight ability with her feats. Now they've made some pretty good changes. We got new feats in here, but I'm just going to go over them really quickly. The tier 1 crossbow, that moved from the tier 3 to the tier 1, and it replaces Bounty Hunter. So they're doing this so she has more of a role in 4s, so she can apply that pressure in group fights. Currently when opponents are bleeding, all of her lights are enhanced and heavies are unblockable. So getting opponents bleeding helps, and moving crossbow to tier 1 allows her to apply that pressure externally and sooner in a fight. So crossbow would deal 5 damage plus 10 bleed damage, and cooldown is 30 seconds. The tier 2 is Bleed Armor, which is a new feat. It's passive. So hitting a bleeding opponent gives you plus 20% defense buff for 5 seconds, no cooldown. It replaces Fiat Lux. If you hit someone while bleeding, it doesn't reset. Tier 3 is Deflect Expert. That's also a new feat. Passive, you can now deflect attacks without matching their attack directions. And this does replace crossbow. The concern is the result. This plays on heroes with undodgeable attacks, like Nobushi, but they want you to rethink how you attack a Peacekeeper. So I'm not mad at this. That means if I'm a Nobushi and I'm throwing out my unblockable, I need to think that she might dodge into this. And I might have to feint it to bait her to dodge, and hopefully I can get a Viper's Retreat off or something and catch her. So she would now be able to externally deflect trajectories with front dodge instead of dodging in the direction of the attack. And they show you an example here. Tier 4, Induce Fear. It's a new feat, but more of a rework of Fear itself. It replaces Fear itself and applies a 20% defense debuff to all enemies within a 6-meter radius. It does not stack. You can definitely see how this makes Peacekeeper really strong as she gets these feat changes. I'm really interested to hear what the PK mains and the PK players think about this. I think this is going to be hell to deal with, but we'll see how things go with Testing Grounds. This is not going to be in the main game. This is Testing Grounds. So Testing Grounds will be live, like I mentioned, once the season begins. Here's where the big fun starts. So patch notes. With patch notes, we have Warden. Warden feat rework is in, and not much has changed from Testing Grounds. So the tier 1 death toll replaced body count for Warden. That's 3 health and 3 stamina you get when killing soldiers and pikemen. Tier 2 Enfeeble replaced Fiat Lux for Warden. Hitting an opponent with a shoulder bash now reduces their attack damage by 10% for 10 seconds. They did lower this from Testing Grounds, which was good. That was needed, but I'm glad they kept this. Tier 3 Total Recovery replaced by Takedown. You can revive an ally to full health instead of half health. You can still use Second Wind if you want. That's still an option, but I like Total Recovery. Tier 4 Trebuchet replaces Catapult. It's faster, 180-second cooldown, 70 damage over an area, and it's the entire area, unlike that kind of bullseye effect that Catapult had. And we got changes to Sohei. They said they were working on them last time during the last den, and here they are. So with Sohei, opener heavies now gain uninterruptible stance at 400 milliseconds. Yes, he needed it. Mad Muck now gains uninterruptible stance at 400 milliseconds. Yes, that's his zone. Yes, he needed it. Sohei now gains a soul whenever a soul attack trades on the same frame as an opponent's attack. I think that's solid, but they did say this was a bug fix more than anything, as well as the Sohei can no longer gain souls on successful bulwark counter by Black Prior. That's a bug fix as well. Now, something not mentioned on this slide, but this is extremely important to note, especially if you're being ganked or you're trying to gank. They increased the rotation speed and travel distance of all of Sohei's soul attacks. That was a very good and necessary change. He needed this. He needed all of this. He needed that uninterruptible stance. So make sure y'all try this out and let your voice be heard. You can submit comments on Reddit. A lot of people go on Reddit to do that. So let it be known how you feel about these changes. Lawbringer, he has new moves. Precise jurisdiction and final jurisdiction performed by pressing light attack or heavy attack during a front dodge. He has his roll catcher. He has his roll catcher now. The top heavy opener now deals 25 damage up from 23. The side heavy opener now deals 24 damage up from 22. Listen to these changes. The last few Lawbringer changes has brought him to a place of completeness, in my opinion. So I think Lawbringer is not going to be touched. They even said they don't have any more plans for him, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't. They are looking at comp and seeing what they can do for him, so that's also good to know. Hitokiri, nerf hammer applied to Hito. These were their words. A nerf hammer was applied to Hito. So listen to this. Now has 125 HP down from 140 HP. It's only 15 HP. I don't think it's bad. 120 stamina down from 130 stamina. Re-kick and re-sweep no longer drain stam. Endless Myriad now has less forward movement. I don't think those are bad changes for Hito. I don't think that's bad. But they did say the win rate was very high, was too high with Hito. And you can see why. It's still bad news if you got like 2 or 3 Hitos that you're going against. But these are solid changes. It's a great start. Varangian Guard, superior block window on all of her lights has been standardized to 200 milliseconds down from 300 milliseconds. That's her opener, finisher, sellsword, bounty, sellsword's valor, and oathkeeper. Nuxia, this is interesting, and this was a bigger change for her. Her zone attack is now a 2-hit zone attack. 500 milliseconds deals 11 damage, and 800 milliseconds on the second hit, which deals 24 damage. And that second one can be feinted or soft feinted into trap. So they're giving them a little bit more utility there. I'm always good when a hero gets a little more utility. And you can see what she can do here with her new zone attack. Get out there, try it out. Berserker, they fixed some unlocked tech on Berserker, thank goodness. And so that could be performed during dodge recovery cancels. Fixes also applied to Aphira, but they said for Aphira is partially fixed. They're still looking into this. Easier to do on a keyboard, JC mentioned. So I don't know how people were doing this with the controllers, but I'm sure they figured it out. But in case you were interested, I just wanted to put JC explaining that for you right here.
It's hard to do on controller, honestly, but it's maybe just do on keyboard. But the way you do is you would do an attack and then unlock, turn to the left or to the right, whatever, and then relock and then dodge cancel, like super quickly. And what that ended up doing is that Berserker would, instead of and you do a side dodge specifically, right? So Berserker would attack, turn, and side dodge away from him. So that gave him like a lot of distance. And not that it was like extremely strong, but it's super easy fighting. Yeah.
Friend or foe signups are still going on. Jump into that if interested. And the Canyon map is being removed from customs, but will be available for brawls, elimination, and skirmish. So that was a lot of information to get into. I hope you guys appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe. I appreciate your support. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Enjoy this season. Hope you saved your steel. And let's have a blast. Happy holidays to all y'all. Peace.
A downfall is coming.